Christmas Eve. And we went to the old schoolhouse, slept there I suppose for the first time, and in the morning we came down and there was a snowdrift in the hall because we hadn't got the porch at that stage, the inside porch. And I don't think the roads were clear until April that year.
Wow. That's right. I quickly bought a Landrover, and that was, I lived in it for three months. You wore a duffel coat and wellingtons, and you got round. One or two frustrating things. We'd go to see various patients, kill an onion, and then I would go up to the moat, and just the last 10 yards hadn't been cleared, and they'd parked the digger in the way, so you had to back miles before you could turn round, because they'd only cut a track for one vehicle. And then, another day, going down in that area, up on the top, driving way over the tops of the hedges, on top of the snow.
How deep was the snow?
Very. Well, I suppose it had drifted up against the hedge, and people had driven on it and gradually hardened and frozen. It was a very rough winter. I had a Landrover, but when I look back, safety is a wonderful thing. When to fill the car, you had to get out and lift the cushion off your seat, and there was a great big hole, about 6 inches in diameter. You put the petrol in, just screw it back on, and then put your seat on it, and off you go. Well, keep you going, wouldn't it? But
by the April I took courage in my hands and I got in the Land Rover and drove myself to Clun to get my hair done. Never having driven the Land
You
Rover
waited
before.
since December to see the light of day.
it was a dreary old time, because of course there was no colour. Everything was white. No leaves on anything.
And I mean, was there food? Was it?
Oh yes, yes.
But did it feel like difficult to get hold of things? And
No, not really.
I shouldn't think so.
Yeah. Rationing had just finished.
mm.
No, I think it was. And John Vernon still delivered the bread.
But visits, it was nothing to park the car at Castlewright and then go up a hill into the blizzard to the house you were going to. You know the story of Dr. Clegg, do you? This was in the previous one, but it's pretty typical. The messages used to come in, and they did in my early years, by the baker or the butcher who'd been out in the country. People didn't have a phone, they didn't have a car, and so at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you'd get a message saying, will you come out and visit? Well, Dr. Clegg got a message to go to Maidstone.
Mm-hmm.
He started out in his Vauxhall car, and when he got up little bit up, probably to the cabin, he started skidding. So Jack Evans came with a tractor. Jack Evans owned the people who subsequently owned the sawmill, and he pulled him up to the top. And then he went over the top and drove down into Maidstone. Then he parked the vehicle and walked half a mile across the field, trudging his way across the field with his bag. When he got there, he said, well, Jones, what's the matter with you? Well, he said, I had this colic this morning. It was terrible. It's better now, but I thought you'd better come and run the rule over me. And I think probably Bunny's language would have melted any snow nearby. But people like that. It was, you see, the other side of that one is, on a Friday, people, they would come in and they'd have a shopping list. Market, doctor, grocer, newspaper, and they'd sell their butter in the bottom of the market hall, and then they'd bring you £half to the surgery. Because
This is a lot of farmers.
Yes.
Would be selling butter, just their own that they'd made.
Oh yes.
Mm.
You see, people hadn't really got used to the health service. Suddenly they were told everything was free, and some were embarrassed.
Mm.
Not a lot, but some.
Just keep them
People
a little
were-
bit embarrassed.
People were very generous, but they're generous now. I'm appalled when I go to the surgery now, and in the office during the Christmas, they have a tree. Under the tree they have parcels, really as a magnet for more presents. I'm disgusted. I wouldn't have had that when I was there. That's Janet Goodman.
Be nice for your birthday. We've had several cakes from old patients, haven't we?
Yes,
Would have turned up at
but
the door with a
this
cake.
isn't like
or-
paid staff inviting alms from the patients. They're all very well paid. I think
That's different.
it's a bit
yeah.
horrid.
It must have been interesting though over the years. I bet you've had some funny things from patients.
Oh yes.
And I once had Dad asked me to bring some pheasants into the surgery because I was going to the dentist, so I was driving to the surgery, and he was then gonna drive on somewhere else and get these pheasants plucked, and I brought these pheasants and left them on the wrong person's bonnet.
Oh no! Oh no!
I don't know really what happened.
Oh,
I sort of sent a message to Dad saying, I've left them on the red car, and he was like, I'm driving the black car today, oh no.
Yes. People were very generous. Now there's transport to take all the specimens to hospital.
Mm.
But I used to give them their blood and say, now you get that in the post. Or a referral letter, I would write it in front of the patient. So there you are, the letter's written, now you make sure it's posted, and then they won't be able to say they haven't heard.
That's interesting. It must have been really interesting, like people starting to get used to having.
Yes, something for nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, let's say the 60s, what would most people have had good heating and electricity and have been going and buying food in shops
I think
and
almost
things like,
everybody would have
there's
electricity
not-
when we got here. Although I did a forceps delivery up at Kevenanian with the husband holding a torch because there was no other lighting in one of those Kevenanian cottages.
people certainly didn't have phones, did they?
No.
Would people have had toilets outside the houses or inside?
Quite a lot outside.
It's difficult for me to imagine how different it was. How different people's houses were in the really rural, the really kind of
You see,
isolated areas.
We came here and